Hey everyone, what's going on? Me, San here, and today I'm going to be talking about Don John and porn addiction. So Don John was a film, came out in 2013. It was written, directed, and starred Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Also starred Scarlett Johansson, Julianne Moore, Brie Larson, young. She's still young, but this was before she grew. And Tony Danza played Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Brie Larson's father. So Don John's about a man named John Martello. He's a young Italian American and a modern day Don Juan living in New Jersey. He's a short list of things he cares about, which are, I quote, my body, my pad, my rod, my family, my church, my boys, my girls, my porn. Though he has a very active sex life, he's more sexually satisfied by watching porn and jerking off, which he claims allows himself to lose himself. One night, he's without his two best friends, Bobby Danny, and he sees Barbara Sugarman, played brilliantly by Scarlett Johansson. She's a young Jewish woman from a more affluent background, so she does find him interesting, but she declines his offer for a one-night stand and makes him work for it. So she makes him have a courtship of her, and they date for a month. She makes him take night classes. She gets him to get an office job outside the service industry. And John indulges her love for romantic films, even though he usually dismisses it as unrealistic fantasy. And they even meet each other's families, and John's parents just absolutely love her. So they have sex finally, but John is still dissatisfied. He loves Barbara, but he considers her body perfect, but he still finds porn more satisfying. So while she sleeps, John watches porn. Barbara catches him and is shocked. She prepares to leave him, but he denies that he watched porn. And he watched his porn too, and claims that it was just a joke emailed to him by a friend. So the relationship resumed, but John is watching porn primarily out of his apartment now, concealing his habit from Barbara. And he's caught watching porn on his cell phone before college class by Esther, played brilliantly by Julianne Moore. She's a middle-aged woman that John earlier encountered weeping by herself. So John politely brushes her off, and Barbara continues asserting her control, assisting her, cleaning his own apartment, a task that John loves. It's not something that she's comfortable with him doing. Barbara then checks the browser on history on John's computer, confronts him with the proof that he has continued watching porn. That ends the relationship. So John tries to go back to his old lifestyle, but he ends up on a downward spiral. Esther continues reaching out by offering John the benefit of her experience, so she gives him a rock video she believes is a more realistic depiction of sexual relations, I should say. He responds by initiating a sexual encounter in her parked car, and they fuck. So she persuades John to try jerking off without porn, and he's unable to. She feels the reason is he's more satisfied with watching than having sex, is that porn, or why he is more satisfied with watching than having sex, is that porn is a one-sided affair. If John wants to lose himself, it must be to another person, a mutual experience. So Esther reveals that her husband and son died in a car crash with her. With her, I should say, John forms an emotional sexual connection. John tells his family about the breakup with Barbara, while both parents are just displeased. His sister Monica, played by Brie Larson, just states that she was dating John because she knew she could manipulate him, which is true. And John meets Barbara and apologizes for lying to her about the porn. Barbara says that she asked one thing of him, and he failed. John replied that she asked many things of him, and he could not meet her expectations. As she tells him to never contact her again, he sees how shallow she is and realizes he's better off without her. So John then begins dating Esther, even though she's considerably older and neither has any interest in getting married. John believes he really understands Esther and that they can get emotionally lost in each other. So, what's cool about this movie is that I haven't seen this in 2014. I've seen it about twice. Saw it in theaters when it first came out. Saw it in 2014. So it's been like almost 4 years since I saw this movie. And I was thinking about it recently because, every guy's, watch porn. Joseph Gordon-Levitt admitted to watching porn. I've been trying to honestly stop watching porn. I don't feel like I'm really a fiend to it per se, but it feels like one deficiency in my life that needs to kind of go by the wayside. And the thing about porn is that it's never really about the actual porn. The porn is just a manifestation of a deeper issue, which is an emotional issue. For Don, I feel that he just has this emptiness in him. So on surface, he kind of has a great life, the pad, the car, the girls, the boys, the church, the family. And on the inside, he just feels completely devoid of anything. So when he's having sex with a woman, he's not really able to mentally be there. He can kind of physically be there and do the thing, but he's really checked out. And with porn, he feels as though he can actually kind of lose himself and have that experience, that samadhi experience that one is really looking forward to when they have sex. And I can relate to that. So, it's funny, I've had times where, he had that thing where he jerked off after having sex with Barbara, and I remember, quite a few times I remember doing that when I had sex. It was actually maybe like a month ago. I had a night out, met a woman, and, we had sex. And I came back home hours later, and I jerked off. Just because, while it felt good, it didn't really get me to where I needed to go. And the porn got me to where I needed to go. So the problem was, I wasn't really fully connected with that person. I just kind of was checked out somewhere else. And when I was in porn, I felt I was able to do what I really wanted to do, feel the way I really wanted to feel, and I was able to really, quote-unquote, lose myself. But the problem with porn is that porn really doesn't meet emotional needs. And this is why, one of the reasons why I believe a lot of people are addicted to porn is that they feel it's some sort of self-care, that it's going to meet some sort of emotional need, when actually all it really does is perpetuate sexual desire, and it can go into fetishes, like there's so many fetishes, S&M, foot fetishes, all that good stuff. And it kind of kills intimacy and human connections, and it's kind of put a strain on relationships. It's kind of one of the many things, a lot of things that kind of put a strain on relationships, that I'll probably do a video solely on modern relationships. But I'll say this, is that, nowadays, before, I believe, when people got in relationships back in the day, before porn was a big academic, it was more, I love you, you love me, you're not perfect, I'm not perfect, but we'll tough it out. But now with porn, there's just almost third off, not just men, but women too, where I may love you, you may give me love, but at the same time, not only do I feel I deserve better, but I feel entitled to someone or something better. I feel entitled to getting my own happiness. So I'm going to leave you, and I still got what I need. I can still watch porn. I can still, get my desires met somewhere else, and they feel that they can't get it met with you. But what it really is that when you go out with someone, date, have a relationship with, or even get married, you're looking for that person to really meet your needs in a way. And you realize that you really can't get your needs met because you're more or less alone, and that person really is with you because of what their perception is. So you feel more alone, and that's why a lot of people turn to porn, because they're hoping they can get their needs met, which is what I meant by a form of self-care. And it just kind of perpetuates this lack of connection, lack of intimacy, lower self-esteem as well. It has a waste of sexual energy. He jerked off, 11 times in one day after the breakup with Barbara. It just kind of perpetuates a lot of deep-seated issues, and makes like sexual fetishes as well. But the porn isn't the problem. The problem is that you have a deep-seated emotional need. Maybe you feel unlovable. Maybe you feel as though, like I said, you just want simply a real human connection. Maybe you feel alone, and maybe there's a lot of different things you can do. In porn is the way a lot of guys and now women are going towards it, because they're not really getting really satisfied by their relationships, or just satisfied by sex alone, and they're looking for that connection, when in reality it's still going to be with another person, having that great samadhi experience and that great sexual experience. And this is going to be a topic I'm going to have to go into more as well later as well. It's a great, interesting topic. It's a great film, so check it out. Thank you everyone for listening. If you like this, like, comment, subscribe. If you want, doesn't want, whatever. Read the web novel, Orange and Blue. Check out my Patreon page, a lot of great rewards. Check out the SOP, and I'll see y'all soon. Good night.